You're listening to The Hurt Locker, the podcast that opens the door on men's mental health. Tonight's guest, we have Shocka. Shocka, welcome to The Hurt Locker.
Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure. Overdue. This has been well overdue.
You know what? We had Oxford Real on a few
Yes.
weeks ago, and he was just
Yeah.
bigging you up.
That is my brother, man. That is my
He
brother.
was just bigging you up, and I think, in fact, I don't even think I know I had a good sesh with him. I had a
Yeah.
good smash indeed, definitely.
Yeah.
So, welcome. How are
Thank you.
you? How's things?
It's good. It's been good. It's been a great year for me so far.
Okay, tell
Amazing
me
year for me
more.
so far.
What's made it great?
Because I reconnected musically. Musically, I've been doing a lot of mental health work in the mental health world, doing TED talks, doing talks in universities, speaking in schools, all of that stuff. But I kind of neglected my music side. But this year I've picked it back up, and I've just picked it back up with a whole different energy, a whole different force. I started something called Shocka Sundays, which has really helped me because basically I had a consistency issue, which a lot of people do have. I will
Okay.
shoot a video and then I'll disappear for 2 months, shoot another video, disappear for 6 months, and that does not work. In this era, out of sight, out of mind. If
100%.
you're not being seen, you're completely invisible. So I said,
100%.
how do I break this consistency curse that I got? And I started a series called Shocker Sundays, where I release a new song and a new video every single Sunday. And I've done it for 6 months straight.
Wow. So,
And
quick maths 26 videos, 26 songs.
26 videos, or maybe more, because sometimes I drop on a Wednesday and a Sunday. So
Oh,
maybe
wow.
we might be at like 34 videos, and I've never been
Okay.
this consistent in my life, and it's
Stop,
clearly
stop,
paying
stop,
off.
stop, 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 stop. For the
Yeah.
benefits of people watching and listening, who
Yes.
is Shocker? Let's
Shock.
stop from there.
Yeah, so Shocka is a rapper, a mental health advocate, a TED Talk speaker, and an author from North London, Tottenham, Broadwater.
Okay. I'm going to have to just dive in and ask you this.
Yes.
Because I've been in the field in terms of mental health
Hmm.
therapy for quite
Yeah.
a while, one of the
Yeah.
things that has been a constant echo coming through is black people, particularly black men, don't talk about mental health. But my
Yes.
last
True.
two guests, you and Ox for real, I've been
Mhm.
talking about mental health. I've been
Yeah.
writing about mental health.
Yeah.
What's changed there?
Because we understand how detrimental it is when people don't share their stories. Because I don't know if Ox told you my story, but you're about to find out. I got sectioned 4 times.
Well,
Four
okay, so
different.
Ox never told me your
Oh yeah,
story.
you're probably
He,
waiting for
ne-
me to tell you.
he wanted you, okay, and we're gonna go
Yeah,
into that. We're gonna go into that.
yeah. I got sectioned
Well,
4 different times, and
but the fact, but the fact is that you're coming on here, the Hurt Locker now. We talk about men's mental health and that, and as a black man, I just, and if we looked at the demographics, I would say that less black people, less black men will listen to this because they'll be like that. I don't want to talk about
hundred
that,
percent,
you
hundred
know.
percent, and it's
But
because of
you're
the shame and pride shame, not pride, pride too, but mainly shame and stigma attached to it. Mainly shame. Mental health, being in a mental health hospital, having breakdowns, taking medication, having a diagnosis is seemed as a very shameful thing in the black community, which is ridiculous because it's actually a normal thing. When you come outside of the black community, people take medication every day. People are being sectioned.
100%.
Someone was sectioned today as we speak. Someone is coming into a ward. It's a normal thing, but for some reason, it's been spun on its head in our community, and it's looked at something to be shameful about.
And you know what? It's interesting that just that phrase you saying it's been spun on its head. Because if you look at the generational trauma that the black community has
Had
encountered,
people should understand why we're going through this.
absolutely, it makes why
Perfect
wouldn't
sense.
it makes
100%.
perfect sense?
We've been
Absolutely.
oppressed. We've been targeted by every race. Yeah, we should have some form of mental issues. I'm even surprised that we still managed to come up with new dances and new slangs, and we're still smiling. And no, honestly,
Okay, so tell me, we spoke before, we spoke off air a little bit. You grew up in Tottenham.
yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, I grew up in Tottenham, Broadwater Farm, especially, and people that do know the history about Broadwater Farm, I know you
Mm,
did because you were
I know.
smiling when I mentioned it. Broadwater Farm is extremely notorious, probably one of the most notorious places in the country. It had two riots. There was a riot in 1985 when a police officer got killed. Then there was another riot in 2012 and Mark Duggan got shot by the police. Mark Duggan was from Broadwater Farm. I saw him in flesh, in real life, walking on the estate every other day. So this is where I come from. And I didn't realize the trauma that I was exposed to till I got older. I saw shootings. I was shot at close range. I've seen stabbings. I've carried a knife myself. All my friends went to prison. I'm probably one of the only ones that didn't. Still probably one of the only ones that don't smoke. I really don't know how I escaped all these things, but I managed to. But just seeing all of those things at a young age, police bully vans come through here every single day. I still think because of the residue of all the riots, that's never going to change. I think there's always going to be a divide between police and normal individuals on the estate. But just seeing all of those things, it seems normal until you grow up. Be fortunate enough to come out of these environments. Thank God for music. I managed to tour in places like Liverpool, Sheffield, Manchester, all these places, and you get to talk to people from other walks of life, and you hear their experiences, and you realize how abnormal your experience was. Because when you're sharing your experiences, they start making facial expressions and you start realizing, oh wow, my upbringing wasn't a normal, upbringing. But at the same time, I loved it too because it built character and it built resilience and it showed you so much life lessons that you probably won't get taught anywhere else apart from environments like these. When you're in environments like these, you meet every sort of character. There's no sort of character I haven't come across. Whereas, like, when you're from certain backgrounds, you only have, certain people, the same kind of class
Absolutely.
of people. But when you're from these kind of neighborhoods, you see everything. There's nothing you don't see. And that gets you prepared for the real world. So when you go into the real world and you meet like a snaky businessman, or it doesn't really affect you that badly because you've seen that character in your
Yeah,
environment.
before.
Whereas people
Yes.
that haven't seen that character before, when they get shafted out of a deal or something, they can't believe what is going on.
Growing up for you, did you have siblings?
No, I'm an only child. No
You
brothers, no
don't.
sisters. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. That's put a different spin again because
Yeah.
it's not as if you've got anybody to back you up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I had to hit that's probably the more reason why I had the four sectionings. Because I never had an older brother to explain to me what it was like when he was going through his mental health issues. Or an older sister to tell me, what depression is like or what anxiety is like. I never had any of those things. So I literally had to bump my head each time and learn each time.
How old were you the first time you were sectioned?
About 21. Yeah, about 21.
What was going
2021.
what was going on in your life then?
I signed a record deal with my group. I was in a famous grime group. That's probably where everyone knows me from. I was in a grime group called Marvell. There was three of us, me, Double S and Vertex. We did incredible things. We brought out this mixtape that sold like 10,000 downloads in the first week. We was in studio with Drake, Rihanna, Amber Rose, Tyler the Creator, all these incredible things. Then we signed a record deal, and that's where the mental health journey started. We got dropped from that record label because our song didn't do well. I didn't know how to take that. That was my first time experiencing the music business. I couldn't believe that I was at my record label's house in December. I was at the owners of the record label's house in December, eating food with their family, and then a couple months later, they're calling us in to drop us from the record label. Like we just wasn't eating food in their house. I didn't realize that that's what the industry is like. It's literally just business. Literally.
Business.
Literally, your record label owner can be signing you on Tuesday. You don't do well on Wednesday and you're getting dropped by Friday. And by Saturday, you can't call his phone anymore. Literally the business. But I didn't know about that. So I thought everything was all love because they had us over at their house. And it wasn't. Even though things have come full circle now, I've managed to reconnect with that same label that dropped me and we're good friends now and we speak about it. But at that time, it was a cold period because we couldn't get through to our label. They took all the music we had, the album that we created with them, they took it. We couldn't release that music. We had to start from rock bottom again. You can imagine how difficult that was because I just said we was just with Drake, Rihanna, Amber Rose. We had to start from rock bottom again. And that's when the depression kicked in and I started experiencing true isolation where I was like just locked in my room, not seeing no one or seeing anyone because of the shame. That's how when I spoke to you about shame
Good,
before,
good.
I know what I'm
Let's
talking
cut to
about.
the yeah, let's cut to the chase there. You were on this pedestal. You got this
Yeah.
record deal. You
Mhm.
know, you're selling. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know at the time. Are you starting to make money, or had you started to make money?
We're gaining a big buzz, but we're not making money.
Got you.
But everyone's
Okay.
talking about
Oh,
us.
everybody's talking about you. Okay.
Mm.
So you're thinking the next thing is,
Look
yeah,
at the goal.
success.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
then, I don't.
Yep.
They cut you.
Exactly.
Record label cut you.
Yep. Yep.
And so,
And that's what hurt is because we're so close to success.
do you do you think then at that time with that when you were first section and
Hmm.
the breakdown, do you think that was? I know we say shame, but was your pride, your ego
That was
hurt?
pride and ego. Even when I was in hospital, I had a lot of pride and ego. I couldn't believe I was with the other patients because I was looking at myself as the person that was just with Drake and Rihanna and all these people. And now I'm with mental health patients. I had so much pride and ego, which led to the multiple sectionings afterwards because my second sectioning, I came off my medication. I used to keep coming off my medication. Why did I keep coming off my medication? Because I couldn't believe I was taking it in the first place. The shame of taking medication is why I kept coming off the medication. It's only at the third time I realized, you know what, something's not working here. Every time you come off your medication, you seem to relapse. Maybe you should listen to what the doctors are saying. And they was right. I've been on medication ever since, and I take it every night proudly. And I wish I could have had this mentality I had now then, but maybe I had to go through that to be able to reach where I'm at now.
100%. 100%. So moving forward, what made you want to become an advocate talking about mental health?
Because I wanted to be what I needed. I wish I had someone like myself that was like doing podcasts, speaking about it so openly. Someone with gold teeth, two of them, dreads from Tottenham, African. I wish I had that. I wouldn't even want to have met me. I just wanted to have watched me, online, and I would have learned everything I need to learn, and that could have inspired me. But I never had that person. So I thought, you know what, it would be a sin for me to know everything I know, the fact I survived everything I went through, and not share my story and give back to that kid. Because I remember I always tell the story when I came out of hospital the third time. No, yes, the third time, I went on Google and I typed black male that's been sectioned. What did he do and how did he get out of it? And I couldn't find nobody's stories. The only story I can find is his name David Harewood. You know David Harewood?
Yes.
I think he's from Birmingham.
The actor?
The actor.
Yes.
David Harewood, he had been sectioned before.
I
And I
didn't
heard,
know that.
yeah, he's been sectioned. He had a really bad section as well. He was running down the street and everything.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah, I
he's a
read
very he's a very good actor.
incredible actor. I read his story. I got his book. Someone gave me his book, but I couldn't connect to him properly because he's a bit older. I wanted someone that was, younger that I could see myself in. And that is what inspired me and said, no, do you know what? Maybe you're looking for yourself. Maybe you have to go and walk down the path and become that person. And I did. And I'm telling you, it was such a fight. It was such a fight, man. My family used to fight against me doing interviews with the BBC. I used to have to go to the park to do interviews
Go
because I
on,
couldn't
why?
do it in my house because my mom didn't want to hear
Because
me. The shame again. And, that's exactly, that's why I know so much when I say the shame because I'm speaking from experience. The shame of them having to know that like their child is the one that's going through mental health issues and everyone else knows about it. Um, that fight alone was a difficult fight.
when you were sectioned the first 3 times, what was the treatment like? We've had other guests on here
With staff.
who have expressed they believe that the treatment that they received was because of the color of the skin.
Do you know what? I was really fortunate. I was
Okay.
really fortunate. I didn't really get that much hassle or bad treatment from staff. But I think I
Okay.
helped myself a lot too because I used to always stay in my room.
Okay.
The nurses used to call me the kid that never comes out his room. I used to just always stay in my room. And I did that deliberately because when you're in a mental health hospital, the behaviors and everything that's going on is so bizarre and so different to the norm of what you see outside in society that if I had it sounds crazy already because I'm already in there because I got mental health issues. But if I had mingled more, I could have got lost in that world.
Yes.
So what I try to do is just like come out for breakfast, come out for lunch, come out for a little walk, come out for my visits when my friends and family come to visit me, and then stay in my room and keep to myself. And that helped me through. Because if I had mingled with the patients or stayed outside my room more, I don't think I would have been the person you see today.
Were you afraid?
100%. Definitely. Definitely. 100%. I was terrified. That person you see talking to themselves on the streets or doing weird behavior, when you're outside, you can just see it from afar and go the other way. When you're in a mental health hospital, that person is literally your your next door.
Neighbour. Absolutely.
That person's your neighbor. And in a mental health hospital, they can just come into your room as well, unannounced. It's scary. Scary environment to be in.
There's so much. I just want to settle this because you've thrown loads at me, and
Yeah.
there's so much there. You spoke before. You born and raised in Tottenham.
Hmm.
You spoke about Africa. Are you African heritage?
Yeah. Nigerian.
Nigerian.
Yeah.
Which tribe?
Been in Edo State.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When I was spoken with Ox about this, you know, one of the things he didn't, one of the things that he had about him because of it being born in Nigeria was that
Mhm.
confidence.
Yeah.
And I was able to discern that if you're born in a country, in a city where everybody looks like you, and then you come over, you still carry in your core that
Yeah.
confidence. It hasn't been
Definitely.
beaten. It hasn't been beaten out of him,
Yeah.
you know.
Definitely agreed.
And he was very surprised when, after being sectioned the second time, people first of all didn't want him to talk about being sectioned.
Same.
And then
Yeah.
people were coming out the woodwork saying, I've been sectioned, I've been sectioned. How was it for you
That's
in
what
that
happened
sense?
to me. That's exactly, and
Okay.
that still happens to me till this day. In fact, what happens to me now, there's a new trend that's been happening with me now. When people get released from hospital, they come and message me about it and send me a video. Oh, Shocks, I've been released, man. I'm home. You inspire me. I'm gonna do what you're doing now. And so it's good. I've seen the change. Before, people used to get released, DM me privately and tell me they're never gonna speak about it. Now they get released, DM me privately and send me videos and like tell me they're gonna speak about it and like so like seeing that change is such a beautiful thing. I felt like the mission is already complete because that was always the goal, was to change the stigma and change the perception around sectioning because the perception was so bad. When I started speaking, I spoke about it so freely that that's where the shock came, because for generations and generations and generations, nobody has ever touched on sectioning. It's
100%.
just complete taboo. No one's ever touched on the experience of it, what it was like for them. No one's ever touched on it. And I remember I went to, there's this Instagram page. What's the page called again? Hospital Rooms. Sorry, you can check it out. There's an Instagram page called Hospital Rooms, and they go into mental health hospitals and they paint them and make it look brighter and beautiful. They do it all around the country, and they invited me down to see one of the hospitals they've painted. And I was speaking about my sectioning experience, and there was this old white woman next to me, and she pulled me to the side and said, "I got sectioned 23 years ago, and I have never ever spoken about it to anybody. Nobody knows." She's an old woman. She was like in her 60s, and she said, I'm listening to you having your conversation, speaking about it. I'm just eavesdropping while you're talking. And I can't believe that you're talking about it so, freely, like
Really.
with no shame attached to it. And I know, even though she never said this to me, but I know she walked away with a whole different perspective. And I won't be surprised if she shares her story more now to people.
I won't be
Just
surprised.
do you know what I mean? So that is the beauty of like sharing the story. That's the whole point of it.
You've got a track called What Lead the Way.
Yes, yes,
Is that
I
what
do.
this is all about? Talking about sectioning experience or mental health
Yes,
in general.
yes. Even how I started with Flirty in the beginning, when he says he's been sectioned, he's lost both his parents, and he's still standing. Lead the way, man. Lead the way. That's exactly how I feel. I feel like there's a new generation of like young black males, not even just black males, but young males that's just leading the way and just being fearless and sharing their story and tackling this mental health issue head on and doing interviews and writing books and writing poetry and going to different places around the country and just really fearlessly doing it. And lead the way is is the soundtrack. So what I'm doing verbally now,
Yes.
my music is the soundtrack to the mental health movement.
Well, there was a couple of tracks that I've been listening to. One was Talking Therapy.
Yes,
Was
oh yeah,
one,
love talking therapy.
there was, what was the other one about? Don't shock the kids.
Yes, stop scaring the youth.
Stop scaring the youth. That's it.
Yeah, I saw you leave a comment on my Instagram saying I can't wait to speak to you about one of the. I don't know what song it was, but I saw one of your comments.
Yeah, stop scaring the youth and that. And I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I think there's a consciousness about what you're talking about. There's a
Yeah,
reality about what it is that you want to talk about.
yeah.
Well, how do you disseminate that message when what we've got all multiple platforms who are just churning out disinformation constantly. You've got the algorithms that may be set against you that prevents you going further up people's, lines, as it were.
Algorithm, yeah, yeah.
How
But do
do
you know
you
what I
get
believe?
over
Yeah, I
that?
believe the people that are seeking
We'll find.
will find because I would that's how I found all my information. I was genuinely seeking. I was on TikTok looking. I was asking people for what books are they reading. The people that if you really need food, you're gonna go out and you're gonna you're gonna go find whatever food shop is open. If you're not that hungry, then you might call Uber Eats and get it delivered to you. But when you're really hungry, you'll go to it, and that's what I've genuinely realized. Because like
And on the flip side of that, if you haven't got much money and all you've got is just whatever you've got in the house, you'll
you
make a
make do
meal out of it. You
exactly,
will make
exactly,
a meal out of it,
exactly,
no matter what.
exactly, and that's what I've realized. It's like every opportunity I've had, 95% of them, I haven't looked for them. They've come to me. The TED Talk came to me, my book, everything just comes to me. So people are generally seeking for you. What you're looking for is seeking for you too. Even this new wave I've been on musically, um, I just posted them on my Instagram. I haven't really done no sponsored ads or nothing for it, but people have found it and it's gravitated to people. That's the beauty of social media. It literally, the algorithm seeks out the people that need what you're showcasing, which is beautiful. So you've just got to make great, remarkable product, and the algorithm will do the rest. It's when the product is not remarkable, it's hard for the algorithm to work with. But when the product's remarkable, it's like Seth Godin. I don't know if you know who Seth Godin is, the author, but he's got this theory called the purple cow. And he uses this theory that if he was in a car with his kids and they was driving past a farm and they saw regular cows, they'll just go back to sleep. But if they saw a purple cow, they'll tell daddy to stop the car and say, can we hop out the car and take a picture? Because you rarely see a purple cow. And I believe the same thing. If you're scrolling down your phone and you see someone, performing on the top of a 50-story building, you're going to be like, oh, what's that? Do you know what I mean? And they're going to send it to your friend and he's going to send it to his friend. That's how things go viral. And that's all I've done is try to produce purple cow content. When people see, please stop scaring the youth and talking therapy, those subject matters don't get spoken about in grime music. That's why people are reacting to it the way it's getting reacted to. Even my music, calling it conscious grime, that's a new genre in grime music. We've never had conscious grime music. We've only had, aggressive grime but we've never had conscious lyrics over grime music. And I just love the way everyone's reacted to it.
Good, good. If you don't mind me saying, one of the things I used to love traveling down south from up north, as it were, coming to London, because Liverpool, in terms of black community, is small.
Mhm.
It used to fill me with a buzz and energy coming to London to see
Yeah.
that upwardly young, mobile black communities doing
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
making things happen, being in positions of
Yeah.
influence and
Yeah.
authority and all of that.
Hmm.
And long, long, long may that continue.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. It's a beautiful thing. It's so inspiring as well, especially for the younger generation. Like, representation is so important. It's like when we
Representation.
all saw Dizzy Rascal for the first time. I don't think people, my generation anyway, my generation, when we saw Dizzy Rascal for the first time on the TV, winning his Mercury, wearing his trousers sagged down low, with his hat in a room full of white people, like not in a racist one, but I mean just seeing him in that environment, dressed the way he was dressed, like it just does so much for that young black kid. It's like, oh wow, we can take it there. And I think that's what we're here to do as human beings, is break barriers and take things to a level that,
Open
like,
doors, open doors all
yeah,
the way,
open doors. Yeah, I think
and
that's what
fill
each
different
generation should
spaces.
open. Yeah, each generation should open the door for another one. Like what Central C and Dave is doing, it's incredible. It's unheard of. Selling at the O2 Arena 4 times back to back. I remember when Tiny sold it out for the Tiny Temper sold the O2 Arena out for the first time, just one day. That was huge. Now you've got Stormzy and them like, selling it out D Block Europe sold it at 6 times. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's what I'm saying. Every generation has to, keep opening doors.
Are you optimistic for the black community?
I'm a pretty optimistic person, but if I'm being completely honest,
Please,
my friend said something to me that I can't get out of my head. He
go on.
said, in order for the black community to get back to where they was, God is literally going to have to physically intervene. And I was like, wow. But I understood what he's saying. He's saying the damage that's been done is so deep rooted that the creator himself is literally going to have to intervene and reset this thing, or actually give us a helping hand, because the damage is too far deep. The damage is so deep that we're inflicting it on ourselves. And it's sad
I'm
me
not.
saying that because I'm such an optimistic person, but like we're so deep in, we're so deep in, we can't even work with each other. Obviously, you have a select few that do work with each other. Like, you go to award shows and you see there's select few, black billionaires and black entertainers. But I'm saying as a race, a collective race, where no matter what part of the country I can go to, I can just see my black brother and it's automatically love.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? That's what it should be. Like, we are the same cut. Like, we're the same. You know what I mean? I should go to any part of the country. It's like my dreads. That's what I love about dreadlocks. And I respect Bob Marley forever for what he did and the community he built. Everywhere I go, when the black older dread guy sees me with my dreads, he automatically like puts his hand to his chest, or like, you know, gives me that nod. That nod. Yeah,
Acknowledgements of your own
that
journey.
acknowledgement. That's
Yes.
what we need on a racial level. It shouldn't just be with dreads. It should be that just blacks in general, wherever we come across each other, it should be a hand on the chest and a nod. But it's
You,
not. We start screw facing and we start, because of the trauma. Though it's not our fault. There's so much trauma that we're paranoid.
tell me about your TED talk. How
That
did
was
that come
incredible.
about?
That was incredible. I went on tour with a guy called Hussein Manoir. He's a spoken word artist. I doubt you would have heard of him because he's really niche in his community. He saw what I was doing and asked me if I want to go on tour with him. On the first day of the tour, there was a girl that was supporting the tour. Me and her name's Jamala. She had a TED talk. She heard me sound checking, heard some of the lyrics, and said, "I'm going to get you to do a TED talk." I didn't believe her. She took my email, and then I just saw these emails coming through with her and the owner of TED Talk saying, "Yeah, I met this guy called Shocka. He's amazing." And I was just reading them every day, just reading them back and forth, talking. And then one day I read it and it said, "Yeah, get him in. I would love to meet him in person." And then that's when I got added to it. And I was, started talking. And I met her in person. And she said, "I'm going to get you to do a TED Talk." And she did. It was in front of 3,000 people. It was my first talk. One of my first talks was thrown in front of 3,000 people. And I'm so happy I didn't understand the magnitude of a TED Talk at the time, because I think I would have blown it. I just, I heard about TED Talks, but I didn't know how big it actually was. And I did it. If you watch the TED Talk on YouTube, you can see I walk out with my hands in my pocket and I just did it. And I'm so happy to have that on my CV, because TED Talk is such a credible platform. And I've met so many other TED Talk speakers. I never used to meet anyone that had a TED Talk. Now I'll just be talking to someone and they'll just be like, "Yeah, I did TED Talk Luton." Or I did TED Talk Chicago. Like, I meet all these TED Talk speakers all the time. So Yeah, that gave me a lot of confidence as a speaker because I never ever saw myself as a speaker. I always saw myself as just an artist first. But
Why?
after I did that TED, because I had never done any speaking things. But since I did that TED talk, everyone just came up to me and said, "You need to speak more. Like you've got an engaged way of communicating with people." And I listened, and I've done so much things afterwards. After that,
Everybody's got a story.
yeah,
Everybody's got a story.
yeah.
I'm listening to you talk, and again, there's so many different ways to go with this. And I'm thinking to myself, are you living your full life now?
Am I living my full life now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great question. That's such a good question because I want to say no because I know how
Oh,
much potential I've got.
I'm not okay. And you know for a fact, if you say no, I'm bouncing back at you with the
That's
next
what I'm saying.
question.
That's why I said I want to say no, but then
Okay,
because I know what's ahead. But if
let
I
me
was to,
bounce.
God forbid, end my life here, I think I lived a full life.
Okay, let me bounce a question. I've got. Supposing you've already answered the question,
Yeah,
my next question as a follow up would be, what's getting in the way?
opportunity,
Opportunity.
opportunity, man. I think we're all created equal, apart from opportunity. Opportunity is what separates us. I was watching something on TikTok, and he was talking about was it TikTok or YouTube? He was talking about the fact that Bill Gates had access to a computer in the time he did led him to make Microsoft. Just having the access to have a computer at that time. Not everyone had the opportunity to use a computer at that time. And I totally agree. I was lucky to be on that tour to meet Jamala, for her to introduce me to the head of TED Talk. I meet so much speakers now, and I ask them, "What's your goals?" And they tell me in their room on their mood board, they've got a TED Talk on there. Do you know what I mean? They don't even know how to get to a TED talk. But I was lucky to have the opportunity to meet Jamala. So I think the only distance between what I'm trying to do is opportunity. Opportunity is the separator. Somebody woke up this morning and their dad is Jay-Z. Like Blue Ivy woke up and her mum's Beyonce, her dad's Jay-Z. Like the opportunity that's gonna come off the back of that. I mean, yeah, opportunity is the separator. It
I
really
hear,
is.
I hear you. Because you mentioned Bill Gates, and I'm just going to continue with the theme of rich people. A few weeks
Yeah.
ago, it was announced that Elon Musk was, on paper anyway, a
True.
trillionaire. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you ever imagine a person of color ever becoming a trillionaire? And I think it links
That's
into what you're saying about in
That's
terms of
that is
opportunity.
a great question because I don't think they will let that happen.
I've got to agree
I
with you.
don't think they'll let that happen. The ripple effect will be too powerful because we're competitive in nature. So we'll think if he can be a trillionaire, I can do it too, and people will start thinking different. I'm telling you,
Well, look
people
at
will start thinking differently. They'll start thinking different ideas because they'll be like, no. Because think about it. Most likely, that black person would have come from an impoverished background.
yeah,
So people would know him and be like, no, there's no way Michael is a trillionaire, whatever his name's going to be. So I mean, and that's going to make them think, no, I can do it too. Whereas Elon Musk probably never started from an impoverished background.
no.
Whereas, like, if I become a trillionaire, there's people from my neighborhood. I'm like, Shocka, Kenneth. Like, we used to send to the nah, come on, man. You know what I mean? So like, the ripple effect to be too great. It will inspire too many people.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because you mentioned that, and you look at
And the opportunity too, what I was talking about.
look at the richest guy in Nigeria,
Yeah.
you know, and he introduced refineries, oil refineries in Nigeria, and the World Bank,
Yeah,
um, and the others are saying this is not okay. This is not okay. You're doing that, and I'm thinking, what the
exactly.
fuck? What the
Exactly.
fuck? You
Exactly.
know? And that
Exactly.
tells you everything you need to know.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. The competitive nature. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, but opportunity, definitely, opportunity is what's standing in the way. Opportunity is a gift from God. Being able to have the opportunity to do something is priceless. You prefer in most cases, you might even want opportunity over money because the opportunity will lead to more money anyway if you execute
Mm,
it the right way.
mm. I didn't ask you, but we're on the Hurt Locker, etc. And usually I would just be direct and say, "What's in your Hurt Locker?" Would you say that being sectioned was the hardest time in your life?
100 million%, 100 million%. Can you imagine someone that was an only, not even someone that was, someone I am, so someone that is an only child, someone that's been sheltered by his mother his whole life, someone that's had it easy. Even though I come from a rough background, I had an easy upbringing. My mum made sure I had everything I had, spoiled, all the game consoles. Can you imagine the shock going from that to like being thrown into a mental health hospital and my mum coming to visit me and telling me that like all your friends are talking about it in the area, saying Shocka's been sectioned and he's gone mad. And so I'm not even focusing on my time in hospital. I'm thinking about how am I going to deal with all the chitter and chatter when I come home from hospital? Can I even hang around my friends without them, bringing it up or, you know what I mean? Just the
I
whole,
know I do. I do. Can I ask, how did your mum handle it?
um, she did really well actually. She one thing I love about my mum, she wasn't a traditional African like parent, if you know what I mean. She was like
Right.
one of the
What
cool mums. She was one of the cool mums. So like I was so lucky in that sense.
was she
I
on a
think
level
if
with you?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. I think if it wasn't for that, if she could have handled it completely differently, but she was on a level with me, even though she still was affected by the stigma, because she still used to tell me don't post certain pictures and don't talk about it. My mom told me not to say a word about it to anyone. So that was her being affected by the stigma. But in terms of how she handled it, because she used to tell me to take my medication, she used to always remind me to take my medication. She handled it well. She did handle it really well.
Did you ever see her cry?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I did. I did see my mom cry. And my
What was
auntie told me something that I didn't know about because I wouldn't know that from my mom's perspective. But my auntie told me when my mom came to visit me in hospital on one of the visitations, she saw, because in hospital there's a lot of black nurses
Yes.
and there's a lot of black nurses that work in this hospital.
Yes.
And my mom saw one of her friends in the hospital that's a nurse. And my mum's friend said to my mum, "What are you doing at this part of the hospital?" Basically, this is the where
Yes.
the people with mental
Psychiatric.
health,
Yes.
the
Yes.
freaks, and you know what I'm saying. These are where the weird people, freaks of society are. What are you doing at this part? And my mum had to say to her, "I've come to see my son." I didn't
You
know
know
this
what?
because I'm just, a patient.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I didn't know that's what was happening. My mum's coming to see me, but my auntie told me that, like, yeah, that was difficult for her. Again, coming
No.
back to the pride thing. Remember the pride and
Respect. Respect your
every
mum.
parent wants to feel like, thank you. Every
Respect your
parent wants
mum.
to feel like their child is, no parent wants another person to know that their child has like mental health issues, especially in the black community. That is the worst of the worst in the black community.
It
Because
is.
they like to show off that my child has graduated and he's got a good
Trophy.
job and
Trophy.
yeah, exactly. So like the worst thing for a parent, African parent, is to say your child is in a mental health hospital. So like I can't imagine what my mom had to go through that day, telling her that I've come to see my son. That's why I'm at this part of the hospital. But I'm happy my auntie told me that though, because it just gives me so much more compassion to what my mom had to deal with during that period. Because I've never heard her side of the story. She never speaks about it. I mean, obviously my mom's passed now, but she never spoke
Oh,
about it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, my mum passed, lost my mum, lost my dad. Both my parents have passed. That's why I got sectioned the fourth time in 2022. I got sectioned after my mum passed. She passed in February. The second, I got sectioned in April, a couple months after.
Did you ever think during those 4 times you were sectioned? Yeah, you said the first 3 times, maybe because you weren't taking your medication and that, but that fourth
Yeah.
time, do you
That
think
fourth time.
it was just to be sectioned?
Yeah. What do you mean just? As in, was it the right thing to do?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, man. Definitely. That was my mom's funeral was the first funeral I went to in my whole life. First proper funeral I've been to. That's a lot to deal with. Can you imagine that your first funeral that you've ever been to is seeing your mum get buried? Like, come on. Like, come on. I had
It's funny.
my mum passed on the 2nd of February. I had a sold out headline show on the 27th. Then I had my mum's funeral the week after. There was so much going on. There was so much going on. And my mum passed from cancer. So I still had to deal with the trauma of watching my mum deteriorating throughout that whole process. No one helped me with that process. That's my first time experiencing something like that. And this is my mum I'm talking about. This is a woman I've seen every single day for my whole life. So it's like, yeah, that section, it was inevitable. It was gonna happen. There was no, I don't think there was any avoiding that one.
That's a lot. That's a lot. I remember listening to a program about Miles Davis,
Yeah,
and when his father died,
yeah,
he was that hysterical he couldn't even attend the funeral.
yeah. If I was saying that to someone yesterday or the day before yesterday, I was saying if I had a choice, I probably would have never went either. Because my mom's brother, the firstborn of the family, the oldest brother, he didn't go. He didn't come to my mom's funeral. He couldn't be there.
How did you feel about that?
That he didn't go to the funeral.
Yeah.
I understand it. I really understand it. Some people know themselves and know what will tip them over the edge. I'm exactly the same. That's why I had never been to a funeral up until that point. My one of my group members' father passed. He asked me to come to the funeral. I said no. I declined so many funerals because I know what I'm a visual person. I know once I see that, to get rid of those images would be very difficult.
I hear you, you know. It's only in later life that I've felt a little bit comfortable going to
Yeah,
funerals. But when I was much younger, it was just a no-no for me.
yeah, definitely.
Just a no-no. But then my take on death now is probably a 360-degree
Yeah,
change, turn around on it.
yeah.
Was there ever a time when you ever felt suicidal?
100%. Yes, yes. When I got sectioned the second time, I was on one to one. Do you know what one to one is?
Go on, tell us all.
Yeah, one to one is when you're basically on suicide watch and they
Okay.
put you on one to one. One to one is when a nurse has to stay with you, like one to one everywhere you go. So if you go to a toilet, she'll be right at the door. When you wake up in the morning, she'll be right by your bed. When you walk to go anywhere, they're right with you. And I told my mum I was feeling suicidal. She told the nurses about it, and they put me on one to one. That was my first experience of one to one, and like I'll wake up in the morning, the nurse is right by my bed because they have to stay with you so you don't, go through the act. But that was a very difficult time because one thing I have now that I didn't have then is I have information.
Okay.
There's a saying that says information changes situations, and it's so true. I couldn't change my situation because I didn't have the information to change it, and that's a very frustrating place to be in. That's what leads people to suicide because you're desperate for an answer and no one's giving it to you and you don't know where to get it. The only difference between the shocker now and the shocker then is I know so much more because I was again opportunity. I had the opportunity to 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 hold on because I got sectioned the first time in 2012. I held on to 2016, and that's when we really entered the information age. And there was so much knowledge being poured on these YouTubes and all these, and I managed to learn, and I got to learn from other people, and I got to learn from other information. If I didn't get the access to that information, I probably would have never survived. I probably would have never survived. And that goes back to your question of what made you want to help other people and become a, activist yourself for it. It's because I know people need information. People are starving for information. People pay thousands to go to seminars just to hear people speak and get information.
If I said to you that we had the highest number of deaths by suicide last year, 7,147.
Yeah.
Okay, the highest since we started recording. And yet, the Office of National Statistics does not record suicide deaths by ethnicities. Would that surprise you?
They don't record it by ethnicities.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You don't know who's black, who's white, who's brown.
Oh. It shouldn't even be looked at by that. Shouldn't be looked at by ethnicities anyway.
You don't tell me why not?
Because it's a human thing.
Okay, there's a human thing, but if we look at the intersectionality of why people die by death, don't you think we can see whether or not you say it's a human thing, but I would also argue that it's a systemic thing as well.
It is a systemic thing. I do agree with that.
And then,
But
and
I'm
then
just saying that it's not just only, there's all races that's going through.
100%, 100%.
But black people are the high. Like, I'm not ignorant to say black people's not the highest on that list, and that's not a systemic attack. I'll be very ignorant to say that. I know it. I know it for sure. I was in our section, and there was like so many black faces in there, and I knew something was up because this is not how it's supposed to be.
Disproportionate amounts.
Yeah, definitely. Every hospital I went to, that's something's wrong. Something's not right.
So that's clearly then a systemic thing, then, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely,
One could argue.
100%, 100%, 100 million%, definitely, definitely.
So perhaps, and I'm just speaking, rolling with this. Perhaps we need to be able to look at what's wrong with the system. Why is it that more and more people of color are being sectioned?
But I think the system is intentionally designed that way. It is like I can't lie to myself. The system is intentionally designed that way, and it's been in the favor. It's been that way for a very long time, and it will continue to be that way. I think things will get changed along the way, but there's a lot of active forces behind the scenes that's reinforcing the system to stay the same, which is sad. It's fucked up when you think about it. It's like it's messed
Massively
up.
so. Massively so.
Yeah, it's fucked up when you think about it. And I
So what-
think because of the history that's been erased, or maybe if it's not erased, that we're not aware of, is why our present situation doesn't make sense to a lot of people. But there's a history that's missing that's making this current situation we're in not make sense. Well, when I say there's a history that's missing, I mean black history that's missing.
Well, but there is, and I agree with you. But at the same time, I will also argue that that's why I can't stand Black History Month.
Yeah, because it's
Um,
not the true history of it. It's
and
not.
also, and also as well, why can't it be incorporated into general
Yeah,
history?
yeah, exactly. Why do we have to be singled out? Just yeah, exactly,
For
exactly. It's true.
1 month in the year.
For 1 month, exactly, exactly, exactly. Because everyone has a racial history. They'll be like, okay,
Everybody
this was
does.
my ancestors. This is what they did. When it comes to us, they revert us to slavery. Something's not right. There's another history that's missing. And when we find out what that history was and how great they was, then we'll be like, oh, that's why you're bullying us because our great was, you know what I mean? And it'll make it make sense. So, because you don't just bully someone for no reason. Normally, the kid that gets bullied on has something special
Has something about them that
or
the other
has something
person
about them. I've been
doesn't.
to school, I've seen it. The
Yes.
kid that gets bullied on and made fun of, they have something about them. So for everyone just to gang up on, black people, that what do they know that we don't know about ourselves? There must be something special that we don't know about. So yeah, it's a deep. We could talk about that for another 2 hours. But I always think about that all the time. I think, wow, like for everyone just to be, and I see the specialness every day, and I probably don't know the specialness to the degree that but I see it. The way we bounce back, the resilience. Um, Trust me, I see it every day. I see it every day. The coolness, the culture. Nothing doesn't move. Nothing. Trust me, I see it every day. I see it every day.
So what I'm hearing, in spite of the heaviness of the conversation we're having,
Yeah,
you're an optimistic person.
I am. Yeah, extremely, extremely optimistic, and I think it's
Mm.
because of what I've seen. I've seen a lot of my dreams come true. When you see your dreams come true, it does something to you mentally. You can never go back. You can never ever go back. When you've dreamt about something and you see it in front, like you're living it. Like my book, for example, I still see a copy of my book sometimes. I haven't got it here, or else I would have brought it. But one of my friends had it in the car, and I just look at it and I just think, wow, like this concept was conceived in hospital. I was in hospital when I said I'm going to write a book, and I came out and I did it, and I had the book launch, and I was book signing, and it's called A Section of My Life, because of I wrote it during the section of my life while I was in hospital, and now people are reading it and leaving reviews and buying it, and
What
yeah,
was
when you
your
see your dream,
What was your intention with the book?
again, I wanted to give someone a satnav, a navigation to how they can navigate what they're going through, and I thought, what's the best way to do it is, leave the book here so the book can outlive me. When I'm not on this planet, people can still read my thoughts and see what I did. A book. Someone said a book, kids, and water, nature, I think, is like the three things that would, never leave this planet. It'll always be here. Like books are always going to be here. So I thought, why not add to that tradition?
Always. How's it been being on the Hurt Locker this evening?
I'm enjoying it, man. You ask good questions, and you give me room to speak as well. You just let me just go off. I loved it. I love it.
I know before when you were talking about your TED talk, it was about self-love.
Yes. Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
Oh, self-love. What does self-love mean to me today? Self-love is today is the ability to want what you want for yourself for someone else.
Self-love is the ability to what you want for yourself for someone else.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
really
want them,
difficult.
yeah, the same thing as what you experience.
Yeah, a lot of human beings can't do that. A lot of human beings doesn't want other people to have, what they want for themselves. When you really love yourself to the highest degree, you start seeing that love that you got in yourself in other people. You just start, the way you treat other people completely change. You start looking at them as like an extension of yourself, and you start wanting the goodness that you feel. You want them to feel the same way. And it goes the opposite way too. When you hate yourself, you want them to feel the same hate that you're feeling. Like, nah, I can't be the only person feeling like this. I need the whole world to feel this pain that do you know what I mean? The whole world's got to feel this pain that I'm feeling. This isn't fair. Why am I?
Not,
And
not
then,
only me, not only
yeah,
me.
nah, it can't be
That's
only
not
me.
fair. Yeah.
That's not fair. Everyone's got to feel this pain. Everyone's got to feel what it feels like to have no parents. So, like, yeah, so, but the reverse happens too. When you really love yourself, you start giving people advice for no reason because you just can't bear to see them making a mistake that you once made. And like, you just become a helpful person, like, because you understand what place they was in. Because no one starts with self-love. It's normally self-hate, and then you manage to heal yourself. But I'm happy it works like that because the self-hate is what connects you to everyone else. So when you see someone hating themselves, you remember what it was like to be in that place. Oh, I remember that. Don't talk to yourself that way, man. I know why you should speak to me. Do you know what I mean? You just start doing it. Like no one teaches you. You just start helping. It's just a natural progression when you start loving yourself.
Would would it be fair to say that I'm not going to say healed because it's a journey, but
Yeah.
it'd be fair to say that you are healing?
Yeah, definitely. Healing every day. That's what Shocka stands for. Shocka stands for spiritual healer others can know is around them. And that's what I do every day. I just use my music, I use my poetry, I use my books to try and heal myself and heal other people around me. Every chance I get, whether it's a conversation, every chance that is like that's the blueprint, that's in my makeup. That's like who I am as a person.
You know what? You've been boss on here today.
Thank you.
It's been, yeah, I think we could go on and on and on. Can I
We
ask you a
could.
question?
Yeah, please.
You can only pick one person.
Yeah.
Who's the most important person in your life?
Today. Not to sound narcissistic,
It's not. Just give me the answer.
it'll have to be myself.
100%.
It has to be. It
You're the
has
most
to be.
you're the most important person in your life because you're the
It's got
experience
to
of
be.
you.
It's got to
You
be.
you know
It's
what
got to
makes
be.
yourself happy. You know what makes yourself sad. And only by
Yeah,
attending to your needs first and foremost can you be fully there for the people whom you love and care for. And
I
imagine
totally
this.
agree.
Imagine if you took care of business for you. Imagine how
Yeah,
much more richer and textured and layered that love and care would be for those important
yeah,
people in your life. But it has to
yeah.
start with you. So
Definitely. I had someone in mind, but then I thought if I'm not happy, even that person I got in mind won't be able to experience the best, like,
100%.
version of
And
myself.
it's not narcissistic, it's not being selfish. And you're gonna see it. I planted in your head now when you go on your sojourn. What did they always
Yeah,
tell you first? Put your own mask on first.
yeah.
That's what they always tell you. Put your own mask on
It's
first.
true. Yeah, it's true.
One final question.
Yeah.
What are you doing tonight after here?
Tonight,
Yeah.
I'm at home. I'm chilling.
You're gonna chill?
I'm chilling. I got a big headline show this Saturday, man. I got Conscious
Okay.
Grime show this Saturday. I
Okay.
made sure I took this next 2 days off just to relax and just get my head right. 'Cause that's gonna be a big show. Then I'm flying out the next day. So
Good. Okay. So we finished the Hurt Locker. You switch
yeah,
off your device and that, and
yeah,
you're just chilling. The TV's on, and there's a knock at the
yeah,
door. You get up.
yeah,
Who's that? You go to the
yeah.
door. You open it, and it's 12-year-old Shocka.
Oh god.
What do you say to him?
That conversation is at least an hour, at least. But if I only had 1 minute with him,
You've
I
only got
would
the
tell
minute.
him something that someone said to me, something that someone I saw somewhere, and it stuck with me, and I'll tell it to him. The person said, the person said, your name can either be a key or a padlock. At the end of your life, you want to make sure your name is a key and not a padlock. A padlock means that other people won't be able to use that name after you leave because of the bad reputation you had and the mistakes you made. You've now made your name a padlock and closed that door. But if you do decide to make good decisions throughout your whole life and you keep a clean reputation, and you treat people the right way and you impact people's lives positively, your name will become a key. And your family members, your kids, your great grandkids, everyone can use that key and just open different doors. Oh, I know Shaka. Who's from my area? Really? Come in, have a free drink. My kids can say, "Oh, Shaka's my dad." Your dad, really? He was a good man. He came on my podcast one day and like we spoke for come in, have a. So he said, make sure you do the best you can do to make your name a key and not a padlock. And that's what I'll say to my 12-year-old self. And that message will make my 12-year-old self make all the best decisions from that day onwards. Because any decision he makes, he's going to be thinking, is this going to make me a padlock? Is this going to make me a key? And that will just guide him through. I think a lot of people don't take the seriousness on like what name they're going to leave behind when they leave. And that's what I'll say.
Legacy. I hear you.
Legacy.
I hear you. Shocka, you've been a brilliant guest on the Hurt Locker.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We got there in the end.
And we got there in the end. And that's a wrap, Tim.
That's a wrap.
Thank you for watching. Remember, you are not alone. If you or someone you care about is struggling with their mental health, please see the contact information in this episode's description for further support.